Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Before we get into it, if you're a true monsties, make sure you hit that like button, share this video, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss anything about babymonster. Alright, now let's go. Okay, let's be real for a second. If you've been following babymonster even just a little bit, you've probably noticed it. That look. That energy. That almost magnetic pull that PHARITA seems to have toward CHIQUITA. Whether it's on stage, in fan sign events, in behind-the-scenes footage, or just candid moments caught by fans, PHARITA is almost always gravitating toward CHIQUITA. And fans have been going crazy trying to figure out why. Some people say it's just a cute uni-dongsung dynamic. Others say it goes way deeper than that. And honestly, after digging deep into everything we know about these two, I can tell you, it goes so much deeper. And today, we're finally exposing the full story. But here's what's wild, the real reason isn't something that suddenly happened after debut. This bond was built long before any of us even knew babymonster existed. So if you think you already know the whole story, I promise you, stick around until the end, because there's one part that even the most dedicated fans tend to overlook, and it changes everything about how you see their relationship. Let's go back to where this all really started, because the bond between PHARITA and CHIQUITA didn't happen overnight. It was built inside YG Entertainment's training rooms, long before any of us knew babymonster was coming. PHARITA trained at YG for over 4 years. 4 years of grinding, evaluating, competing against other trainees, with no guarantee of debut. She had already proven herself on international stages before she even became a trainee. She knew what it meant to fight hard and survive alone. And one of the trainees she was surviving alongside during those years. You already know, CHIQUITA. Now here's the thing about CHIQUITA, she came into YG as a young teenager, a full 4 years younger than PHARITA, far from home, surrounded by people she didn't know, in a country that wasn't hers, preparing for one of the most competitive debuts in K-pop history. And she had the shortest training period among all babymonster members. That means she entered the system later, younger, and with less time to build walls around herself. She needed someone. And PHARITA was already there. And this is where the bond really begins to make sense, because think about what that situation actually feels like. Imagine being 13 or 14 years old, away from your family, in Seoul, South Korea, surrounded by a language you're still learning, in a company with incredibly high standards, with no guarantee you'll even debut. Now imagine that in that building, there is one other person who speaks your language. One other person who grew up with the same food, the same culture, the same Thai traditions, the same understanding of what home feels like. For CHIQUITA, that person was PHARITA. And for PHARITA, protecting that connection wasn't just natural, it was instinctive. Because when you're a foreigner fighting to survive in a highly demanding industry, your fellow countryman isn't just a colleague. They become your anchor. This is the foundation of everything. The shared language. The shared homesickness. The shared cultural identity. When the cameras are off and the practice sessions are done and everyone else is talking in Korean, PHARITA and CHIQUITA could turn to each other and just breathe. In Thai. Freely. Without translating themselves. Without code switching. Without performing. And that kind of comfort, that kind of emotional safety, you cannot manufacture that. It either exists or it doesn't. Now here's something a lot of fans miss, the age gap actually deepens the dynamic rather than creating distance. PHARITA, at 20 years old, is the older one. She's been through more. She survived 4+ years of YG's brutal training system. She competed in international competitions on her own before she was even a trainee. She's seen what it takes. So when someone like CHIQUITA, younger, newer, less experienced in the idol training world, enters that same pressure cooker environment, PHARITA doesn't just see a fellow Thai. she sees someone who needs a guide. And from all the fan-captured moments, behind-the-scenes content, and even how they interact during live stages and fan meets, it's clear that PHARITA stepped into that role naturally. Not because she was told to, but because that's just who she is. Fans have nicknamed this dynamic CHIQUITA, a combination of their names, and honestly the way the fandom talks about them feels different from other ship dynamics in K-pop. Because this one isn't built on fanfiction or manufactured fan service. It's built on years of shared struggle, cultural kinship, and a protective love that was forged during the hardest, most uncertain period of both their careers. You can feel the authenticity every time they're on screen together. And then there's the Lisa factor, and this is the part that adds another incredible layer to this whole story. Before babymonster even debuted, photos surfaced from around October 2021 showing Blackpink's Lisa dining out with CHIQUITA and PHARITA at a Thai restaurant in Seoul. 3 Thai girls from YG, one already at the top of the K-pop world, and 2 young trainees still grinding toward their dream. Lisa, who famously moved from Thailand to South Korea at a very young age to train under YG, understood exactly what CHIQUITA and PHARITA were going through. She had lived it. And seeing Lisa take them under her wing, protecting them, feeding them familiar food, giving them a taste of home in a foreign city, that moment mattered. But think about what it also did for the bond between PHARITA and CHIQUITA. Because they shared that experience together. They both received that warmth from Lisa together. And shared experiences, especially emotional ones, bond people in ways that are hard to explain but impossible to ignore. That dinner wasn't just a meal. It was a memory they will carry forever, and they carry it together. But let's talk about the on-stage and on-camera moments, because that's where Monsties really started piecing this together. Watch any performance footage or fan sign event and pay attention to where PHARITA's eyes go. Pay attention to how she positions herself near CHIQUITA. It's subtle. PHARITA is known for having a calm, composed, almost regal aura, but the micro-expressions, the small touches, the quiet check-ins are all there. Fans have documented countless moments of PHARITA adjusting CHIQUITA's hair, catching her attention with a gentle look, or simply being physically close during moments when the group is gathered together. And then there's the comedy dynamic, because when these two are together, PHARITA's usually reserved personality somehow transforms into something warmer and more playful. As fans have noted online, when PHARITA is with CHIQUITA, her whole genre of life shifts into something lighter. And that tells you everything. Because people don't open up like that with just anyone. You open up with the people who make you feel safe. There's also the language element that fans adore. When asked what language PHARITA and CHIQUITA speak when they're together, the answer is always Thai, and you can sometimes catch fragments of this in behind-the-scenes content. In a world where K-pop trains you to be fluent and articulate in Korean for professional purposes, having a private language with someone feels precious. It's like a little pocket of home they carry with each other everywhere they go. On tour in the United States. At a music show in Seoul. At a photo shoot, an interview, a practice session, they always have that. And it's a thread that ties them together regardless of where in the world babymonster is performing. Here's the bigger picture though, and this is what I really want you to sit with. In a multinational group like babymonster where members come from different countries and speak different languages, the Thai duo has something uniquely specific to them. It's the weight of being 2 people from the same country in a foreign industry, carrying the legacy of Blackpink's Lisa before them, representing Thailand on one of the biggest K-pop stages in the world under YG Entertainment. That's not a small thing. That's a responsibility they share. And when you share a responsibility that big, the person standing next to you doing the same thing becomes more than a friend. They become family. PHARITA isn't attached to CHIQUITA because of some random chemistry that just happened to develop. She's attached because she chose to be the uni that she herself probably needed when she was a young trainee navigating an unfamiliar world. She's attached because their shared identity as Thai women in a Korean entertainment industry is something only they can fully understand within that group. She's attached because they built trust over years, not weeks, of training, surviving evaluations, facing uncertainty, and ultimately debuting together in one of the most anticipated girl groups in fourth-generation K-pop. That kind of bond doesn't just happen. It's earned. And now that you know the full story, every single CHIQUITA moment you've ever seen probably hits completely differently. That's the truth behind PHARITA and CHIQUITA. Not just a cute duo. Not just fan service. A real, deep, earned connection between two Thai girls who found each other in the middle of Seoul and decided, without saying a word, that they were going to get through this together. And they did. As babymonster. As Monsty's pride. As two of the most beloved members of one of K-pop's fastest rising groups. And if this video opened your eyes or gave you a new appreciation for CHIQUITA, let me know in the comments right now. Drop a Thailand if you love the Thai duo, or tell me your favorite PHARITA x CHIQUITA moment. And if you haven't already, please like this video, share it with your fellow Monsties, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss our next deep dive. Because trust me, there is so much more to uncover about babymonster, and we are just getting started. See you in the next one. Blue Heart Annyeong.